Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Oppenheimer.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
Hello. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura. And we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movies, sports, concerts, and even 3-hour movies about atomic bombs.
You're shocked, right? I know. Us too.
We love to watch and we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan's World War II biopic on the father of the atomic bomb.
Woo!
Woo! So exciting.
Yay!
Very exciting. Laura, who do I look like?
I know Shelby's got her Oppenheimer blazer on today.
I do.
I know we tried to dress for the occasion.
In honor of this movie, I tried to look as bland and dry.
Oh my goodness. Shelby wanted to look as stoic and 1940s as possible.
That's right.
That's
Don't I just give like I'm a scientist working at Los Alamos?
Yes, you do. You do.
There weren't any Black women, but if there were, that would be me.
Yes, Shelby looks like it. Exactly.
Okay.
Woo! Okay, so Shelby, give us some of the background. We know that this is Christopher Nolan's new movie.
Nolan. For those of you that don't know, Christopher Nolan, I'd say, is one of the biggest directors of our generation. So he's most known for the Dark Knight franchise. I think the best Batman franchise.
Oh yeah, with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yes. So that's really how we grew to really like him, because he directed those movies. They were so good. And really that's how I'd say most of the general public knows him. He's also known for these interesting, twisty, turny movies that make you think, like The Prestige and Inception and Tenet. The last one, which I didn't love, but he has a really great track record. He's done some historical biopics before, like the war movie Dunkirk with Harry Styles, the beginning of his acting career.
Yes. Can't forget that.
Yes. And Christopher Nolan actually had been working with Warner Brothers for most of his career, but left them after, yes, there was some drama. He left Warner Brothers after they released Tenet, his movie, during the pandemic in theaters and on HBO Max on the same day. Remember the day and date releases?
Yes.
So there's some drama, and Christopher Nolan didn't like that because he's a true theater, filmmaker. He's a true director. Right. He wants his movies in a big screen, the IMAX, the full thing. So he left Warner Brothers for Universal, and this is his first movie with Universal under his new deal.
Oh, snap. Well, thank you for that background.
Of course.
Yes. You gotta let the people know. I know that our whole family really loved the Dark Knight series.
Yes.
And we even saw, wasn't it like a triple header when the last one came out?
We saw
Oh my gosh.
We saw Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises all in one night.
All in one night.
Crazy.
That was wild. I can't believe we did that. So that shows you our dedication. Yes. We're drinking lots of Mountain Dew in the theater. We're like, stay up, stay
awake.
So we definitely are fans of his
Christopher Nolan. Yes.
I will say I think I saw half of Inception. It was on Netflix a few years ago. I did not understand it at all, so I stopped watching it.
Too confusing. I think
really
The Prestige
confusing
was my favorite one of those movies that was a little confusing. Okay. But Inception and Tenet really lost me. I could not.
Yeah. And I watched Dunkirk on a plane. Not a great plane movie. I fell asleep.
Yeah, you gotta watch that at like 11 a.m. with a full pot of coffee.
Right. Like I don't recommend
this movie.
Yes. I don't recommend watching Oppenheimer on a plane. Do not watch Oppenheimer on a plane. Bad.
I don't think Christopher Nolan would like that either. He's definitely a purist.
Shelby and I saw Oppenheimer 11 a.m. On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. I had my cold brew.
Yes. So we recommend seeing it, not the last showing of the day. It's long.
3 hours. 3 hours.
And it's interesting because Oppenheimer and Barbie came out on the same weekend. People were calling it Barbenheimer weekend. And these movies are just could not be more different.
So different. Like, when you think of polar opposites, I think of Barbie and Oppenheimer. Like, they're not even close. One's very poppy, bright, fun fantasy comedy. The other
woman-led.
Woman-led, diverse. The other is a male-driven war biopic that's a drama, that's slow burn, that's long.
Yeah.
And there's like no diversity. Like, talk about
literally
polar
opposite.
But somehow people were trying to see both.
I know. In one day, AMC said they had like 20,000 tickets in pre-sale for the Barbenheimer double feature. Crazy.
That's too much. I hope they saw Barbie second.
Yes.
If you saw Barbie and then Oppenheimer, you were in for a tough day.
I think what's also is interesting is that both Barbie and Oppenheimer have been, kind of made as a meme. And there's been all these TikToks and reels, whatever, all over the internet being like, on my way to Barbie and then to Oppenheimer. And one of them, it was like, first going to Oppenheimer and then Barbie, they were dressed in like blazer, dark clothes, and then ripped it off to like a fun pink sparkly outfit. Like, they're being memed together. So I think that's definitely helped Oppenheimer so much.
For sure. And both Barbie and Oppenheimer crushed it in their opening weekend. Oppenheimer in particular overperformed. And I have to think the Barbenheimer phenomenon has been helping.
100%. 100%.
Because typically it would not be the same audience. Typically the Barbie audience and the Oppenheimer audience, one's female, one's male, one's older, one's younger. You'd think they'd be polar opposites, but somehow everyone's going to see both.
I know. It's wild. And we weren't as ambitious as other people. We saw Barbie the Wednesday before it came out that weekend. But then we saw Oppenheimer on Discount Tuesday the following weekend.
Yes.
So we didn't have the energy to do both in one day. No. But we saw them as close as we possibly could.
That's right. There was a lot of hype. Not only with the meme-ifiedness of it with the Barbenheimer, but this was a movie that was like marketed starting last year. And there was all these commercials, and at least in LA, billboards everywhere, one even counting down until when Oppenheimer was launching. Like, there was so much hype and marketing for this movie as well. In addition to all like the marketing and the hype, there was the stat cast, which we love. We love great actors. I mean, I'm sure they really want to work with Christopher Nolan. You had Cillian Murphy as the lead role as Oppenheimer. You had Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Matt Damon, just you name it.
Robert Downey Jr.
Rami Malek showed up. I mean, Josh everywhere Peck. You looked.
Nat Wolff from the Naked Brothers band.
Nick stars.
Crazy. They found that so many men in Hollywood just put them in the movie.
Like, everywhere you looked. A white man. Wild. Even Tony Goldwyn from Scandal fits.
Yes, literally. I was like, that's a present from Scandal. He's in it too. Yeah, all kinds of people. Yeah. Lots of really good actors in it, for sure.
Yes. So going into the movie, Laura, what were you expecting?
All I heard is that it's a 3-hour movie about atomic bombs and World War II, and that's all I knew.
Great.
And that was a dark, intense biopic. That is literally all I know.
That's it.
How about you? For me,
of course, right, Christopher Nolan and the strong auspices. We love The Dark Knight, not so much Tenet and Inception. But I knew it was going to be good. Given Christopher Nolan's pedigree and like his background, I was like, there's no way he's going to make this biopic with all these actors and have it be bad. So I knew it would be a solid movie. And as a history buff, I was curious to learn more. I feel like somehow the atomic bomb is something we don't learn about that much in history.
They don't want us to talk about it.
I don't think they want us to know.
Nope.
But it does seem like it's looked over a bit when we learn about World War II. So I was curious to learn more. And that's what I think is great about like biopics or documentaries, right? There's a learning component of it.
not too many expectations coming in, but we knew that it was this intense, long biopic about the atomic bomb in World War II. Okay, so let's get into some of the themes. Of course, power is a really, really big one.
Big one.
And if you heard us talk about the Mission Impossible movie, it's very similar because an entity, literally, like the atomic bomb, should anyone have that power? Something, nuclear weapons, it's way too powerful and clearly can cause such severe damage.
No, I agree. And clearly there was a power struggle. You saw it. And the US was trying to beat Germany and Russia to build the bomb.
Right.
And it seemed like it was more about playing defense and making sure we had it ready than understanding what it meant to have a nuclear bomb.
Right.
So it's sad because obviously that has continued throughout our history. Like the Cold War was a big power struggle between these forces on like who was going to move first or if anyone moved at all. Thank goodness there weren't any atomic bombs used, but that's still happening now. They're just still like threats and power shifts and struggles to going to be the world dominator. And it's like, why does anyone dominate the world? Why can't we all coexist and work together?
Why can't we just live in Barbie land? Yeah.
Barbie land, where are you? Save us.
Help. Literally. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it just shows, and we were talking about this. Of course, we're mentioning Barbie a lot, but they're literally quite opposite movies because it's showing in Oppenheimer what happens when you let, all these men make decisions and it leads to bombs and hundreds of thousands of people dying. So would it have been different if all women were making those decisions in Oppenheimer? Who knows? But it's and like in Barbie, when the Kens end up fighting each other, end up having a war, and it just Oppenheimer, literally shows the exact opposite of what's happening in Barbie. So it's just really interesting to talk about it and look at the movies within context of each other.
Completely agree. Another theme in the movie was patriotism.
Woo! USA! USA!
Born in the USA.
Is that how the song goes?
I honestly don't even think I listened to it. So that was my best guess. And it's interesting. I think they were the American government, even Oppenheimer, to get these scientists, to get everyone on board, they were framing it as we're saving lives.
Yes, we're saving American lives.
American lives to have an atomic bomb. And it's almost like it's weird to think about it in that way, but they were trying to make the situation seem better. Like, oh, don't think about how you're building things so deadly. This is about saving people.
Right. It's
not gaslighting, but I'm like, what is this? What are they doing? Are they coercing them? Like, it just is interesting that I don't know what the term is, but to convince people that they're doing something good when in reality, building nuclear bombs probably isn't a good thing.
Manipulating?
Yeah, they're manipulating them.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say it's like they're gaslighting themselves. Not necessarily gaslighting the scientists and Oppenheimer, but like they're gaslighting themselves because they're making them like,
oh, I'm doing something good. I'm doing something right.
Right. We're saving American lives. We're saving, woo, like this is the right thing to do because by killing people, we're saving lives, and it's like that literally the logic. I think, of course, they're in the middle of a war, so I just think their logic period is just all over the place.
Yeah.
But when you look back at it now, and in hindsight, they had no idea that hundreds of thousands of people would die. Their estimates were clearly very off because they didn't think about all the aftermath effects, the long-term effects. And so many more people died than probably if they didn't set off those bombs. And you see that Oppenheimer is like, well, it looked like actually Japan was going to surrender. They were, losing the fight, all this stuff. It felt like the American government kind of lost sight of what it was actually doing, right? Because, like you
Yeah.
said, they're like, we need to have these weapons before Russia and Germany. But then why are we using them on Japan? Because we have the weapons. Like Russia and Germany aren't going to use them, right?
They really wanted to exert their power.
Yes. They wanted to be like,
And
again,
Japan was the
patriotism.
test. Japan,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, was the dummy that they used to show
Literally.
their force and let
I
people
know.
know we're not playing. We have
Be
the
like,
bombs.
America's number one. We're
Yeah.
gonna
So
assert
sad.
our dominance. Don't mess with America.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And hindsight, like you said, we don't learn about this that much because it's not,
No.
you
Doesn't
know,
show America in the best light.
yeah, the only
It's
country
not.
to ever use,
The atomic bomb in war.
in war against another country. So it's definitely disturbing looking back at it. And Oppenheimer, immediately is like, what have I done?
But America sees him as a hero. He's on the cover of
Woo!
Time magazine and he gives like a
Yes.
speech in Los Alamos right after, and everyone's cheering him like, oh my gosh.
We did it. We did
And you
it.
could tell how weird he felt.
And it's like, what are we celebrating? We're celebrating
Yeah.
that we killed hundreds of thousands of people,
Oof.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, the lines are really blurred here.
Really blurred. And that's why
Yeah,
I think the movie did a good job of just showing the facts, right? Just showing us the events. And then it's up to us to kind of see
right.
how we feel
Interpret.
about it, interpret it. Because I think the movie was pretty nonpartisan,
Yeah, I
except I think
agree.
when it came to showing Robert Downey Jr.'s demise. Like he became the clear villain. And I think
Yes.
this movie is like anti-bombs and like anti-power and like anti-government at the end of the day. But that's how I'm interpreting it. But I do
Right.
think it tried to be pretty even keeled throughout.
Right. It wasn't trying to,
Pick a side.
yeah, choose a certain, side demographic or
Mm-hmm.
preach to a certain camp. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so I think it did, like you said, a good job of like telling the story
Yes.
and taking away what you will from it.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Another big theme was winning, as we mentioned. That goes along with patriotism. America must be number one. America has to get this bomb first. America must use this to assert dominance. We won. We did it. We won the war. We showed everyone how
Yeah.
strong America is. We did it. And he
Winning at
gets
all
the
costs.
exactly, and he gets the Medal of Freedom from the president later in his career.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
He
we
won.
won. Yay, Oppenheimer.
I know he felt like he won, but he won.
No, he did not feel
He
like that. He
won.
did it. Yes.
I'd say the last theme is delusion. And to quote
Delulu.
Mistress Isabel Brooks, drag delusion, that's what this felt like to me. I think Oppenheimer is interesting. Obviously, a flawed character, right? He wasn't perfect, cheating on his
Right.
wife, hanging
Yeah.
out with a lot of the Communist Party, and then be like, "Oh no, I'm not involved, not involved." But
Oh
that's all
gosh.
of your friends. Like he was
Yeah.
definitely blurring the lines. For me, the biggest problem was him being so surprised that the government used the bomb. That's
Delulu.
peak delusion. Did you say Delulu?
That's apparently what the kids are saying. So I've heard some of my friends say Delulu, and I was like, what?
I've never heard that in my life. Well,
Delusion.
I am a millennial, so you're the Gen Z over here. Makes sense that you would know.
But yeah, that's what Shelby likes to say. I do agree that Oppenheimer, the delusion. Why are you so shook that the government used the bomb that you spent years
Yeah.
and billions of dollars
Working
to
on.
create?
I think he thought they would just feel comfortable that they have it now, but that they wouldn't use it. Which, not smart, my guy. Obviously, you're a
No.
genius. You're one of like the best scientists ever. But
Yeah.
mm, if the U.S. government feels threatened and if they want to exert their power for and use something that has been years in the making, they're gonna use it.
Yeah. And I guess you can argue like what we were saying, how the patriotism aspect and how
Mm-hmm.
America wanted to use this to end all wars. And in the
Mm-hmm.
movie, they also talked about we use this so we never have to use it again. And I guess to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent, it's true because
They haven't used that since.
yeah, no other country has used atomic bombs on another country or nuclear weapons.
It's just
So,
sad that Japan had to be the one to
right.
be affected.
To a certain extent, yeah, America is vindicated in that way because
Mm-hmm.
it did work. No one else has used nuclear weapons
That's fair.
because mutually assured destruction.
Mm-hmm.
If we start using them, then everyone's gonna start, and then everyone's gonna die.
Literally.
So
So you're right. To your point, maybe they did save more lives in the end by using the
yeah,
bomb.
maybe they did. Okay, tell me about some of your favorite moments.
Um, because it was like a tough movie, there weren't a lot of moments where I was like, "Oh my gosh, yay,
Yay!
wow, woo!" So it's hard for me to have a favorite, to be honest. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. A moment in the movie that was really cool to watch was
Mm-hmm.
when they first tested the main bomb and they had Matt Damon there and they had a countdown and Josh Peck was pressing the
Mm,
button. I thought that was a really compelling, interesting scene. That was exciting.
mm,
So I did like that
yeah.
scene and then it worked and people were you could tell it was a mix of excitement and like whoa, this actually worked. And what if we use this in the real world, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was a really well directed scene because they had the flashing lights and all the different people at the different locations while the
Yeah,
bomb was going off. I thought it was a that was a cool scene.
I agree. The movie was visually stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of Christopher Nolan's signatures. He just knows how to make a very cinematographically beautiful movie. Side
Right.
note, the first assistant director on the movie is a Cornell alum.
Oh,
Woo!
go
So
Big Red.
he was definitely helping make the movie come to fruition.
Very cool.
Go Big Red. Okay, Laura, I did think of some favorite moments. It took me a little bit. I have two. One, when Strauss, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, does not get confirmed for his cabinet position when they're cross-examining him. Karma.
Mm.
It
Karma.
comes out. Rami Malek shows up, who's barely in the movie, but he comes in for his moment to basically skewer Strauss and say that he is not good for the scientific community and does not have our support because of how he
Mm.
treated Oppenheimer. I love
Karma.
seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s character Strauss get what was coming to him. You can't turn on Oppenheimer after all he did
I
for the country.
know.
He made y'all the atomic bomb, and that's how you're
That
gonna
you asked him
act?
for. Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Just because his ego was hurt, he embarrassed him in front of
Mm.
people. Oh, poor
For
Strauss.
you.
Oh. Okay. So I thought that was a good moment because right, the evil guy didn't win.
Yeah, he got his
He got his
comeuppance, as they
comeuppance.
say.
And I also liked when Kitty, Oppenheimer's wife, had like her monologue moment when Jason
Mm.
Clarke's character, the lawyer, was questioning her during the hearing whether or not Oppenheimer would still keep his security clearance. And
Right.
Kitty was a badass. She was in the
Yeah,
whole
she was
movie
good.
talking to Oppenheimer, inspiring him, telling him to keep it together. Classic.
Putting
Woman
up with
holding it
his
down.
shenanigans. Classic.
Literally. Literally. And I loved when she showed, like, yeah, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. I can talk over you.
I can outwit you.
I can outwit you.
Outtalk
I'm not
you.
to be played. So I like that scene when Kitty was basically talking circles over the lawyer.
I agree.
Moving to the least favorite moments.
Yeah.
I really didn't like when Oppenheimer cheated on Kitty with Florence Pugh.
That wasn't good.
Like you're in the middle
Yeah.
of building this bomb. You leave Los Alamos to meet with her. This woman who's not your wife,
A
a
communist?
communist. Come on, what are you thinking?
I
Like, and then
know.
again, going to delusional and his being so naive. Like, you don't think the government's gonna find out and then be like, why were you meeting with a communist? think.
He was not thinking with his brain.
No, you're right. I'm thinking of something else. You're right.
Yeah, I agree. He and Florence Pugh had a very strange relationship.
Yeah, and you heard that there's sex scenes people are saying were a little too graphic. And then remember when one of the sex scenes, she asked him to read, like, I think it's like a line from a Hindu book.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people said that it's like blasphemous and like insulting to their religion. Yeah.
Oh no, I did not hear
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, controversy.
Yeah.
That did seem weird and out of place. I was like, wait, why is she having him read while they're together right now?
Yeah, I
It
thought
seems
that was
strange,
strange, but I just
right?
was like weird and
And
didn't
I didn't know it
think
was like a
about it.
probably apparently like a sacred Hindu text. I'm like, yikes! Like, imagine if that was the
Yikes.
Bible. That would be like
People would lose their
people would
minds.
lose their minds. Lose
Yikes.
their minds.
That's not good. Interesting
Yikes!
choice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And kind of like when you talked about your favorite moment was Strauss's demise.
Uh-huh.
I also feel like least favorite moment was when you realized how villainous he
Ugh,
was.
completely agree. Yeah, because you thought you could trust him. He was looking out for Oppenheimer, and then actually, no. It was awful. Ugh. I'd say another moment I didn't like was, I forgot the politician. Was he Secretary of State or something? And they were going over the lists
Of different, yeah,
of different Japanese cities to bomb. And he was like, oh, I took one off the list. It's Kyoto because I vacationed there. It's so beautiful. Can't bomb that.
It's like, yeah, my wife and I honeymooned there and it was beautiful.
I was like, that is
can't.
insane. That's
I
not
can't.
how you made a decision of whether to bomb a city or not.
Sounds
Triggered,
about
stop,
right.
too much. Like, not how government should run.
Yeah,
So did not
crazy.
love that comment.
Me neither. Okay, Shelby. What or who in this movie did you love to hate?
Oh, I think it's obvious. Well, maybe not, but Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Very flawed character, as we said before, right? He cheated on his wife. He helped create the atomic bomb, and then he felt guilty, and then he was trying
switching up his
to,
stance.
yeah, he switched up his stance, and he wanted to help people that were struggling, but he was confused. He was confused. He was in delusion. He was lost, like a lost little puppy throughout the movie, but a smart puppy, a genius.
A genius, yes.
So yeah, Oppenheimer.
I agree. I guess we can also throw in maybe the atomic bomb, love to hate. Because as we said, was America, they're like, oh, we're saving more lives by using the atomic bomb, and we're ending the use of atomic bombs by using it. And the logic is kind of crazy. But also, maybe there is some truth to that because the atomic bomb hasn't been used since the 1940s, So is it great that Americans were able to come up with this technology? Sure. But the fact that it was used to kill scientific advancement is great, but the fact that this technology was used to kill hundreds of thousands of Japanese people, bad.
That's a good one. I think that's a good one for love to hate.
Yeah, I'll throw that in there too. Okay, hate
to hate. Strauss.
RDJ. Bad guy.
Turned on Oppenheimer. Got his comeuppance.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Bye.
Love to love.
Kitty.
Kitty cat.
She was a great character. Emily Blunt did a good job.
Maybe Oscar worthy. I think there are a lot of Oscar worthy performances in here. So
definitely. She did a good job. Like you said, her monologue when she was being questioned at Oppenheimer's hearing, that was a really well acted scene. So I liked her. Yes. She, stood by her problematic husband, but she was always there for him and the family.
Held him down.
That's it. Okay. On to our segment.
Our game.
Red flag, green flag. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Laura. Is it a red flag to create something and expect it to not be used?
So Oppenheimer creating the atomic bomb and being like, what? America's gonna actually
You're
use
gonna
the
use
bomb?
it?
Yeah, red flag. How can you not?
Red flag.
It's ignorant and delusional to
So ignorant.
think that America's not gonna use the weapon you made and has spent billions of dollars over 4 or 5 years. Of course they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
And it's like how we talked about for Mission Impossible and just artificial intelligence in general. We can't expect to make something and be shocked when it's used for bad things, for evil. So when you create an invention, I mean, I am not an inventor by all means, but we need to be ready to
Yes. Be
expect the bad
careful.
consequences, right?
Completely agree. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, Shelby. Is it a green flag to see the Barbenheimer double feature?
Oof.
Explain to the people what that is.
So the Barbenheimer double feature was a phenomenon of moviegoers seeing Barbie and Oppenheimer back to back.
Got it. Okay.
Wild. So let's say you go to the
Wild.
movies, want to see an early showing. So you see Barbie at 11. You would then see Oppenheimer at 2. And you wouldn't be out of the movies until after 5:30. Long day.
Very long day.
I think it's a green flag for the movie theaters. This is the big money and movement they needed post-COVID. Everyone's excited. It's great for the studios. They're making money. Great for the actors and talent, right? For their art to be celebrated. I don't think it's great for your eyes. I don't think it's great for your back. I don't think it's great for your legs. Fair. I don't think it's great for your body in general. I also think your mind probably would have needed a break.
The psyche, yeah.
The psyche, that's a lot to see in one day. But hey, more power to you. So I think it's an overall green flag, but it personally would have been too much for me. And I'd be concerned for all of their bodies after enduring that.
And I just think, as we talked about, Oppenheimer to Barbie is just such a stark difference. It's like I would be
the right mindset.
I'd be jolted to go from Oppenheimer to Barbie.
One on Friday and the next on Saturday. Right,
yeah.
Or like us, one on a Wednesday, next on a Tuesday. Week break.
Yeah, I think they're two different to see the same day. Okay, Shelby. Overall thoughts on Oppenheimer. Is it a wait or a watch?
I think it's a watch. Even though we critiqued it, right? We think there were flawed characters. It was very long.
Very long.
We were both checking our watches a few times. But it was really well done. I thought the score was great. I thought it was cinemagraphically beautifully shot. I thought it was a very interesting and topical movie. I thought I learned a lot.
Yeah, very informational.
I think it's super informative and really well done. I think it's an Oscar contender. So I recommend it. You just got to be in the right frame of mind. Have your coffee.
Yes.
Be wide awake.
See it early. I think I would say if you're a big movie fan, Oscar buff, you really love award season, watch it. But if biopics, war movies are not your thing,
acquired taste.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste where I think like Barbie's just a fun watch for everyone. I don't think everyone needs to see Oppenheimer, you know?
So you're a wait.
I would say I'm a wait. I wouldn't rush to the theater to see it. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, you know, for the meme, go see it. But I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to see Oppenheimer. I enjoyed it, but I'm not rushing. Yeah. Okay, on to our what to watch segment.
To be honest, whatever Christopher Nolan does next, he's a great director. I trust his taste. I know he's gonna do something good. I don't know what it is, but it'll be good.
Yeah, and they'll be visually stunning.
Yes. Yeah,
and this was a, big biopic movie. So what other biopics are coming up?
I can't think of too many, but we recently saw the trailer for the Bob Marley biopic. Yeah, and that looked really good. It did look coming out next year. I'm like, ooh, I would see that. I mean, again, I love learning about people, cultures, different histories, backgrounds. You hear Bob Marley, but you don't really know, at least I don't know too much of his background, what he went through. So I'd be curious to learn more about his life.
Yeah, me too. That looks good. I agree. Aww. Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode. Y'all. Oppenheimer, an epic long movie.
Yes.
A little confusing, but overall, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Very informative, well done, cinematic experience.
Yes. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all social medias at Sisters Who Watch.
That's right. Follow, like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.